Well folks, we're arriving at my destination for this morning. Currently on the Energica Experia. I was looking for the gear shift then to change up. Oh dear. Feels very weird not having to change gears. Now I've seen a few comments online, people saying, oh, I couldn't stand that whining noise that it makes, rah rah rah. So camera microphones have a nasty habit of picking up that noise, and you know, and it's a bit more obvious on the camera, but it's actually not very intrusive while you're on the bike. So no dramas there at all, really. I mean, from what I'd seen online, I was thinking, oh, you know, that sounds quite intrusive, but it's not intrusive at all. In fact, the next acceleration that I'll do with the helmet open, so you get a better feel for it. So this actually sits a bit lower than the Africa Twin. In fact, I can very easily have both feet on the ground nicely with it. So I've currently got 98% of charge. The regen braking, or the regen on it is set on mode 2, and we're in sports mode. I'm not sure why this is a 60 limit here. Wow. This is a nice road for riding bikes. Those guys will be looking going, what's that bike? It looks like a multi-strada, but it's not. So at the moment I don't have any earplugs in because I wanted to actually 100% hear the noise from this bike. That's just going downhill on regen. So we're at 97% battery, and that's running down the hill on regen quite nicely. This is the Energica Experia, which is the brand new bike just released from Energica. And Energica is an Italian company, and they are in Modena in Italy, which is basically the Detroit of Italy, you know, Motor City, Modena. So this is in the Bormio Ice colour, and it's got the engine is a permanent magnet assisted synchronous reluctance motor, or PMSynRM as they call it. I'll put that up on the screen for you. Continuous 60 kilowatts or 80 horsepower at 7,000 RPM, or peak of 75 kilowatts or 102 horsepower at 7,500 RPM. And it's got torque specs that are out of this world. 105 Newton meters or 85 foot-pound of torque, up to 900 newton meters or 664 foot-pound at the wheel. That is insane. It's speed limited to 180 kilometers per hour or 112 miles per hour, and I can see why, because it gets there really quickly. And it's got cruise control that uses the electronic brakes and sensors and so on for that to maintain speed and increase braking efficiency. It's got 6 levels of traction control on it, and combined with the existing ABS and cornering braking, which is Bosch 9.3 MP. It's got 7 different riding modes, 4 of which are Energica's factory preset riding modes, and that is the eco, urban, rain and sport mode, and I'm riding around in the sport mode. And it's got 3 customizable riding modes, and I know exactly how I'd want to customize one. Everything would be on full, so full traction control, full regenerative braking and full power. So, and it's got 4 regenerative modes. So they are B0, which is off, B1, which is low, B2, medium, B3 is high. So very invasive. When you roll off the throttle, it slows you down, basically like hitting the brakes. Range, according to Energica, its range is city riding about 420 kilometres or 261 miles, combined riding about 256 kilometres or 160 miles, extra urban, so 208 kilometres, so that'd be more motorway type riding, that sort of thing, or 130 miles, and the WMTC, which is the World Motorcycle testing centre stuff, is a real world range of 222 kilometres or 138 miles. It's got a forward and reverse slow gears to assist you with parking, because it is a heavy bike. DCFC fast charging, so level 3. On level 3 charging, it's it'll add 6.7 kilometres a minute of range at fast charge. Slow charging, level 2, because we're in Australia, so 240 volt power sockets here. Level 2 is 63 kilometres added per hour, so level 2 is obviously far slower. It's got an onboard 3 kilowatt charger, and so that's 90 to 264 volts AC, and it's got things like long period rest modes, so you can shut it down to save the battery if you're not going to be riding it for a couple of weeks, that sort of thing. And it's got AC and DC charging up to a requested state of charge, so you can set it to say 80% so that you can get longevity out of your battery. And its charging stuff is all just under this neat little flap here where your leg rests, and when you open it up, there's your standard charging and there's your fast charging when you take both of those out. So just the top section is level 2 or level 1 charging, and then when you've got all of those open, then that is for fast charging, which is kind of neat. They're a little bit annoying the way those straps are on there, but there you go. But anyway, so there's your charging ports. They've got it in a much better position on this bike than some electric bikes. Cast aluminium front and rear wheels. So the front is 3.5 inch by 17 inch, and the rear is 5.5 inch by 17 inch. So there's 17 inch rear front and rear wheels on this. So, fairly easy to find tyres, because that's your standard sport bike sort of size tyres. And this bike comes out from the factory with Pirelli Scorpion Trail 2 tyres on there. So they're quite aggressive for tarmac riding, and the occasional, dirt patch. It's a front. The front is steel tubular trellis frame with an aluminium subframe for the rear. The swing arm is also cast aluminium. It looks really nice actually on this. Looks nicer than the Africa Twin. And ZF Sachs front suspension and rear suspension. Upside down forks on the front, and a mono shock in the rear. The brakes are Brembo brakes, as you'd expect out of Italy, and the double front floating discs, and they're 330mm discs. They're huge. I mean, I've got a big hand, that's bigger than a dinner plate, that disc. That's gigantic. I mean, you know, on a 17-inch rim, you can really see how big that disc is. And a Brembo single disc on the rear. So it's 4 piston calipers on the front, dual calipers, dual discs, and it's a 2 piston caliper on the rear. A seat height of 33.3 inches or 847 millimeters. But for me, this feels really low when I sit on it, far lower than the Africa Twin. It comes with a 2-year warranty on the vehicle and 3 years or 50,000 kilometers warranty on the batteries for it. And looking on it, this whole front section of the bike here is the battery. And this is the engine, which is the brand new engine from Energica. So the whole front of the bike is the battery, and it's not got massive ride height clearance, you know, for like going off-road or anything, but this is, and this is where Energica has done really well with this. This is not targeted at the adventure tourer bike markets, i.e. the Africa Twin. This is targeted as a green tourer. It's more of a on-road tourer with, you know, a bit more of an aggressive ADV styling to it. Very similar to what the Ducati Multistrada is targeted at. And it's got these twin front headlights on here that look like bug eyes. And they're actually quite nice. And they seem to be quite bright. I can flash them on road signs really easily. And all over the bike, it's got these lovely little Energica labels. Their logo here, which is really quite sweet. It's on the front of the, you know, mudguard and that sort of thing as well. So anyway, enough of this. It's really hot out here. I need to find somewhere to go and get out of the heat and cool down, have a drink, that sort of thing. So to start the bike, you have to pull in the brake and flick the red button. But if you want the forward and reverse slow gears, pull in the brake again, push the button and hold it, and there we go, it's now in reverse. That's pretty cool, right? And if you push it the other way, it goes forward. It actually goes fairly quick for a slow gear. And you can stop again, flick it the other way, go backwards. Only does 4 kilometers an hour backwards, but that's more than enough on a bike that's this big and heavy. And then brake in and press and hold the red button again, and it goes back to normal riding mode. Unfortunately, this would be the time when there's a heap of traffic coming, wouldn't it? But I can hear them all coming. Something you wouldn't notice on the Africa Twin with the noise. Anyway, just get around this corner here and pick it up nice and slow. You know, it's nice and easy going, no gear changes, no clutch, nothing to worry about. So we're at 60 kilometers an hour now. $60 to I don't know how many seconds that took, but it wasn't many. Well, we got to go and pick up the 360 camera because it's decided it wants to sit on the ground almost. It doesn't grip very well on small things. Anyway, so as you can see, it picks up super quick. Let's just put it out here on the road. I'll try not to take all the stuff with me. So standing start, roll on and go. That picks up super quick. And I can tell you that the whining noise from the engine on this is not invasive. I mean, I'm not wearing earplugs at all, and it does not feel invasive at all. It's actually kind of cool. It doesn't have auto indicator cancelling like the Africa Twin does, so I've got to keep remembering to turn them off. But it is literally so easy to ride it. Like, it's just accelerate, decelerate. I think I've touched the brakes twice, maybe 3 times in the entire time I've ridden it now. Just as I was coming up the hill there, I could hear birds in the trees. I'm doing 55 kilometers an hour and I can hear birds in trees. That's pretty amazing, to be honest. Okay folks, so now that I've found somewhere cool to stand around for a little bit, my actual thoughts on this bike is it is a lot of fun. It is stupid amounts of power, stupid amounts of torque, and stupid amounts of fun. So the actual question that comes up with regards to this is, would I buy one?